enforce the laws that are already there. And here's how you do it. You empower the states to do what the federal government is not doing, like Alabama is doing.
GOP presidential hopeful Herman Cain stopped in Tuscaloosa supporting the controversial immigration law and making some waves with a group of an opponent's supporters. And plus, the Tuscaloosa Housing Authority put together a Halloween party for local children in the Rosedale community after much of their area was swept away in the April 27th tornado. WVUA News at 10 starts right now.
You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Matt McCoy. Thanks for being with us. Republican presidential candidate Herman Cain stopped in Tuscaloosa today where he talked about big issues facing the nation and our state. Cain's visit was a part of the West Alabama Republican presidential straw poll. WVUA's Lindsay Price met with Cain and has more.
As GOP presidential candidate Herman Cain stumps across the country, hot topics like immigration have taken a forefront. According to Cain, states like Alabama are leading the charge in the controversial movement, but there's more the country needs to do.
First, secure the border for real. For real. Stop talking about it. Let's secure it. Secondly, promote the path to citizenship that's already there. We don't need a new path to citizenship and no amnesty.
FEMA has often been the target of criticism across the country and right here in West Alabama. But Cain says there's a way to put trust back in federal assistance.
We need to put a priority on disaster relief. But the other thing that I want to do as president is to get out in front of some of the disasters. Sometimes we know they're coming. There are a lot of things we can do to minimize the recovery if we think ahead and put together some contingency plans.
Cain says making a stop in Alabama is crucial this election because many states have changed their primary dates and there won't be a clear front runner.
I happen to believe that by March, this thing is not going to be over. So I wanted to make sure that I made a presence in Alabama so I could let the people in Alabama know what my message is.
Hundreds of people let their voices be heard by casting a ballot in the straw poll, but at the end of the day, Herman Cain came out on top. In Tuscaloosa, Lindsay Price, WVUA News.
That's right, the pizza executive turned politician took home the W. Herman Cain, the initial underdog, garnered 51% of the votes, with Ron Paul coming in second with 45% of the vote. The other candidates received 4% of the vote combined. According to officials with the poll, nearly 500 people were in attendance. Even though Cain came out on top, the road to the win turned out to be a bumpy one.
The Federal Reserve, I do not believe that we need to end the Fed. We can fix the Fed. That's all I want to say about that. Are you all going to let me do my speech or not? All I'm asking for is the respect for me to give my comments in my speech. That's all I'm asking.
Supporters of Ron Paul taunted Cain on several issues, including his foreign policy and the ending of the Federal Reserve. During Cain's speech, Ron Paul signs were held up and the crowd chanted "Fed," what they consider a jab at Cain's work with the Federal Reserve. Cain's campaign announced later the candidate plans to dial back his appearances to avoid any further missteps. Cain had to clarify comments on abortion, immigration, and terrorism suspects in the past few weeks. Well, some people in Tuscaloosa united together to raise awareness for the fight against breast cancer. Hundreds of local survivors and volunteers walked in the Strides Against Breast Cancer 5K to raise funds for the American Cancer Society, which helps patients with early detection, prevention, and treatment. Organizers set up a tent to recognize survivors by giving them medals. It's estimated that over 230,000 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year, which means this horrible disease is personal for many across the country.
It does hit very close to home. My mother is a breast cancer survivor, so it's one of the reasons I got into this job and one of the reasons I'm so excited to have this event here in town.
Well, just across town, the Alabama chapter of families with spinal muscular atrophy strapped on their shoes to walk and roll to raise awareness and money for research for SMA. SMA is often considered a fatal disease, destroying the nerves controlling voluntary muscle movement. Face painting, door prizes, and even, yes, Big Al gave the participants a little break during the walk. WVUA spoke to a mother of a child with SMA who gave some encouraging words to anyone dealing with the disease.
I would just say don't give up and just keep the faith. And, you know, the reason we keep doing this is the money that we raise goes to research to find a cure for SMA. So, you know, that's our goal, is to eventually find a cure for SMA.
For more information about spinal muscular atrophy, you can visit www.fsma.org. Well, with Halloween just around the corner, people are starting to celebrate that spooky holiday. And today, one group of kids got an unexpected trick-or-treat. Tuscaloosa's Hope Initiative worked with the Tuscaloosa Housing Authority to throw families that lost their homes in Rosedale courts on April 27th a Fright Fest. The party featured carnival games, food and candy for the kids around the area. Organizers say the party was a way to show the families affected the community is still rallying behind them, and it's important to teach the kids who see damage every day things will get better.
We just felt like they have maybe been a little bit forgotten in all of this, that because their homes were not damaged, even though they lived through the trauma of the storm, we thought that it would be good to give them a special day on their own turf.
Another area hit hard during the tornado, Midtown Village, held their third annual Fall Festival today. Today's festival was the first major event for Midtown since the tornado. Guests were entertained by the Lake of Tuscaloosa Opry Band and a local dance group, Street Jam Kids. Children got a chance to jump around at a bouncer supplied by the sporting goods store Canuckins. Event manager Carol Woodruff says the goal of the event was to get everyone to come out and enjoy the festivities.
Since the tornado, we've had a few events, but this is our first major event since the tornado. We just want everybody to come out and relax for a while and enjoy.
Woodruff says after the April 27th tornado, Midtown was able to feed over 1,000 first responders in the immediate days after the storm. Halloween has got historical in one of the Northport's creepiest landmarks. Friends of Historic Northport gave tours at the Williamson Cemetery, bringing some of the most famous people buried there back to life. The characters shared each of the key Northport citizens' stories and how helped shape the way the city of Northport is today. Friends of Historic Northport board member Chuck Gordeau says this tour was a way to bring history to life.
Bring documentation in life. We have so much of the history is documented over the years that Friends of Historic Northport has been working on it. Now we're bringing it to three-dimensionally, where people can actually see the history come to life. Where I think you can learn better from that. The citizens really enjoy it, and I think it's just a good way to promote the heritage and history of our town.
To find more information about Friends of Historical Northport, you can visit our website, WVUATV.com. Just click Numbers and Links.